Story 1. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my boyfriend to be friends with his ex and causing his depression? I, 26 female, am dating a 25 male, and everything was perfect until his ex showed up. He told me that they were dating for 3 years and he even bought a ring, but she cheated on him. First month into our relationship, she wrote to him from an alt account. She said that she has changed, she loves him, etc., etc. And what makes my heart break, boyfriend didn't tell her that he's in a relationship. Like, that is what I'd expect. I would expect something like, sorry, I'm in a relationship and happy. No, he told her that he doesn't want to, but they can be friends if she changes. Next time her friend writes to him, dialogue stays basically the same. He still didn't tell her. Recently, she asked another friend to write to him. She says that she is another person now. She misses their time in gaming. Friend, after boyfriend asked him, told her that he is in a relationship. Finally, LOL. She insists that she wants to be friends. I don't feel like I can or should ban their communication, but I don't really want to stay in relationships because I know I will constantly overthink what they're doing. But after I told him that I don't feel comfortable, he got very upset and claimed that now he basically loses all his friends. I was confused because I said that I have no issues with his friends, they just need to find a time/way to spend time with him without her. Her Discord profile and status about their promises and their relationships, by the way. I finally made a decision to ask him not to be friends with her. 2 days he behaved like he lost something very important to him, like his friends. I assumed that was the case, and for some reason, they refused to spend time without her. I was confused. We met, spent time together. During the evening, he was upset, refused to answer my purring, and kinda looked distinct. When I started talking about the issue, he crushed on my shoulder. We were sitting on a bench, and he was holding his head, ugly crying, and saying that he basically lost all his friends. I was confused because I've told him multiple times that I have no issues with his friends. He can spend time with them how he wants. It's just the ex who is the issue. I don't remember why, but I asked the stupidest question on earth. Have you talked to your friends? Apparently, he didn't. All that drama was in his head. 2 days later, he talked to them. They seemed to agree, and they spent time together as always. I don't interfere and don't steal from his friends, allowing him to enjoy their company. No issue. Well, except there is an issue. I was hoping that we solved the problem. Boy's friend spent time with his friends without an ex, but he is still very sad, kinda cold, and I would even say depressed. He said that it's all in his past traumas and he just lost all optimism he had when we first met, and I just don't know what to do and how to feel. I don't feel like I've done something that awful by asking him not to communicate with X, but I feel terrible seeing him in that state of mind. At the same time, what future can I expect with the man who got so upset because of a slightly inconvenient situation that he lost all optimism about us? As much as I am in support of people being able to be friends with their exes, not always, it's not always going to work. There are times, I have a number of exes in my past who I just don't talk to anymore. It just wouldn't work out. But I have other exes in my past that we're still friends on Facebook. I mean, I guess we don't hang out or anything, but yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. But when you're not communicating to an ex that cheated on you and has come back and been like, I want a relationship, and you're not stating that you're already in a relationship, I mean, I guess you don't have to. You don't have to reveal stuff to that person. But I would think you wouldn't want to because you just don't want to have communication with that person. But if he wants to hang out with her, he should be forthcoming with that information. Like, look, I'm okay trying to be friends, but I'm in a relationship and I'm not looking to get back together. So his caginess about that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I'm not feeling great about it. And now lost all optimism, all this stuff that he's putting on the girlfriend because of this. It's like, you weren't that sad before when this person wasn't in your life, but now you are. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what to think here, but I'm kind of on the fence about this whole thing. So, I don't know. What do you all think? Story 2. Today I effed up by using the bathroom at the back of the plane. This literally happened to me about 5 minutes ago. I am on a JetBlue flight going from SLC to Fort Lauderdale. It's a 4.5-hour flight, and before boarding, the check-in person announced that the front bathrooms of the airplane were out of order. This posed a minor problem because I'm in first class and I have a bladder of a toddler. I take medication that makes me have to pee at least once an hour. Well, we are an hour in and nature called, so I made the one awkward trek in the darkness to the back of the plane to the nasty airplane bathroom and did my business. Now, here's where I effed up. When I came out of the bathroom, the flight attendant had just started to slowly make her way down the aisle to hand out snacks. Stood in the back awkwardly for about 10 minutes, but when I thought she was towards the front, I made my way forward, but I'm apparently an idiot with no depth perception because she was only halfway through as I stood behind the cart awkwardly and slowly following. I have social anxiety that kicked in hard, and my reaction was to make a small joke along the lines of, "I did not think this through." The flight attendant was not amused, and when she realized I was sitting at the front, she politely snapped at me with a, "Why the hell did you go to the back bathroom?" I almost explained myself, but that time I was pretty embarrassed, and I refused to damage my dignity further by explaining myself. So I'm so glad I'll be one of the first ones off so I don't have to make eye contact with my fellow passengers. Man, this could have gone so much worse. When I saw a "Today I effed up" post and it had to do with bathrooms, immediately there are a million ways that this story could have been worse, and I'm so happy that it's not. I will say, sucks to that flight attendant for being like, "Why did you go to the back bathroom? They announced that the front bathrooms were out of order. Why do you think she went to the back bathroom? Who cares?" And don't ask a person why they went to any bathroom, okay? Can we not do that? Because, a person eventually is going to be like, "I had to make a big poop," or something, and that's going to suck. You're not going to feel good about asking. They're not going to feel good about saying it. No one around is going to feel great. Don't do this. But also, I feel very bad for you, but not that bad because you are getting to ride first class, so come on, life could be worse. Hey folks, quick content warning for this story. It has some descriptions of some fairly harsh domestic violence, and so if you aren't comfortable with that, feel free to scroll to the time code on screen now to skip this story. Story 3. 7 months pregnant, caught him cheating, and is now a felon. I, 25 female, caught my boyfriend, 26 male, trying to hook up with a random woman on Instagram. He told her to pull up at his place in Dallas, but we live in Plano. I never found out if he had another apartment in that area, but they had the date set at 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday. The same day I found out he was planning on hooking up with this woman, I tried my very best to play it cool. I had my suspicions and always went to him for reassurance because I felt deep down he was hiding something. Too many red flags to go into detail, but it was obvious. I just don't have proof, and I didn't want to accuse him. He always promised it was just us and that he loved me and wanted to provide for our family. He's been supportive throughout my whole pregnancy, so it was all confusing. I planned to at least wait until after the baby shower to let him know since everything had been set. 47 confirmed guests and plane tickets bought. This is his parents' first grandchild, and everyone has been supportive and excited for us, so I didn't want to ruin that for everyone else. Anyway, that same day I found out, he picked me up from work, and I tried my very best not to break down in tears. I talked to him like I normally did, and we talked about our day. As soon as we got home, I went to bed and cried. I fell asleep but woke up later with a panic attack due to all the stress. It was around 1 a.m. and he was sleeping next to me. I was panicking and couldn't wait. I got his phone and my phone, turned on the lights, he woke up, and I tried unlocking his phone using his Face ID. It didn't work. He grabbed both our phones and wouldn't give them back. I had all the proof on my phone because that same woman had sent screenshots of their conversation. I wanted to cry, and still calmly I asked him, "Where in Dallas do you have another place?" He immediately told me to get the F out. I should have just left the moment he said that, but I kept wanting to talk to him about it, which was a mistake. I asked him why it was so easy for him to set up a hookup. To that, he asked when I was leaving. I asked if he cared about our daughter, and he didn't say anything. I asked what he thought our family would think, and he said he didn't give an F. At this point, I was so angry, and for the first time, I cursed him out. The last thing I said to him was F you, and I got up and knocked over a lamp and the glass shattered all over the floor. He got up and slapped me across the face with full force. He's 6'2", works out, and I'm 5'3". It hurt so bad and I was in shock and nothing felt real. I quickly ran out, stepping over the glass barefoot, and I barely felt him touching my shoulders, trying to stop me from running out the door. I couldn't eat the next day due to the pain from opening my mouth. It's been 4 days since the incident, and I'm finally able to move my jaw better. I was crying and asking for help, knocking on doors. This young man opened his door and let me stay with him. He called the cops right away and explained what happened. When they arrived, they questioned my ex first, and his story was that I was on top of him acting crazy, and that he had told me we would talk about this in the morning. He then told them I started moving stuff around, threw the lamp, and walked out. Of course, his story didn't add up. He got arrested right away and was charged with a third-degree felony for assaulting a pregnant person. I feel guilty. I wish I just left the moment he said he didn't care or confronted him another time. I wish I had handled the situation better. I'm not saying it's an excuse for putting his hands on me, but a third-degree felony is harsh. We both effed up. I just felt so betrayed and disgusted that he was okay with risking bringing STDs to me and our daughter. And then he gets violent with me when he gets caught. I don't know what to do anymore. Everything seemed perfect. He went to appointments with me, talked about how excited he was to meet our baby, and talked about our future with more kids. Now I'm left wondering if any of that was real. To this person, or anyone who's been in this situation, you did not screw up. When he said that you should get out and stuff, you wanted to talk it out. This is a person you're in a relationship with, you're having a kid with. You tried to talk, and granted, you were trying to sneak around to get evidence, but that's because you wanted to be sure before accusing and stuff. Maybe you didn't do all the best things, but I wouldn't say that you screwed up, and you most certainly did not deserve to get hit like that. And he does deserve the charges put against him. That is felony-level domestic violence. He is getting what he deserved. It doesn't matter how good he was with everything else, prepping for the baby and all this other stuff. He hit you. The end. He deserves what he is getting. I'm sorry. I know you have feelings for this person. You feel conflicted. But to anyone in this situation, you do not deserve to have violence, put against you like this. Okay? That's not okay. Story 4. I think my roommate may be poisoning me. I am a 25 female and I live in Seattle. I just moved here a few months ago from New York City because of my dream job, and I was so excited. I work as a data analyst and I make a very comfortable living. I felt like my life was finally all starting to fall into place. The only thing I needed was a place to live. I took to Facebook because I figured that might be the best place to find a roommate. I found this girl, let's call her Kate, 26 female, and she seemed perfect. She said that she and her boyfriend, 29 male, were in a 2 very spacious bedroom apartment in a great location and were looking for someone to rent the room. She said she was a 7th grade English teacher and her boyfriend was a physical therapist. All her interests and hobbies seemed to align perfectly with mine, so I agreed to live with them. I moved in 1 month after initially finding each other, and everything started great. Kate and I were friendly and had good conversations when we would interact. One day, however, I got home and she seemed to be in a very bad mood. I asked her about it and she ignored me and walked into her room. I didn't think anything of it, but then I received a text from her that read, "I know you want to F my boyfriend." And that's all she wrote. I was very confused because that was completely untrue. I've been cheated on in the past and know how devastating it is, so I would never want to inflict that pain on someone else. There were more texts exchanged, and everything seemed to be good, but when I saw her in person, she continued to act weird, but I brushed it off. The next day, however, she began to act very nice and sweet, even offering me a smoothie because she knew I was too busy in the mornings to make breakfast. I accepted and went about my day. The smoothies continued every morning, and I just thought she was being nice. Now I'm experiencing some symptoms, and I'm a bit scared. My hair has started to fall out, and my hormones have been all over the place. I've developed some weird stomach issues, and I get headaches all the time now. This is all new to me. It may be that the move and this change is affecting my health, but it doesn't seem to have started around when It does seem to have started around when the smoothies did. I don't know how to catch her and see if I'm right, and I don't want to seem rude and stopped accepting the smoothies if I'm wrong. I don't know what to do. I need some advice. there's gotta be like a lab or something that you can bring stuff to be tested, right? Like, can you go to the police or something, or I don't know, food lab, food clinic, and be like, can you test this? Is this good? Is this smoothie okay? Because I like stress can do some weird stuff to you, but it doesn't sound like you're all that stressed out from the move. It sounds like mostly a positive thing. So, and I would say her weird shifts and the making smoothies for you every morning, I don't know. Here's an idea. I say, just tell her like, nah, I'm all good with smoothies. You know what? They've started doing breakfast at work, so I'm just going to get it there every morning. But thanks anyway. And do that for a week and see if you feel better. And if you do, maybe she's poisoning the smoothies. Or maybe you're allergic to something in the smoothies. I don't know, but it does seem suspicious. Story 5. Would I be the a-hole if I exposed my sister's affair to her husband? I, 30 female, caught my sister, 40 female, cheating on her husband, 49 male, with a guy, 40 male. I was shocked because my sister and her husband are the epitome for love that never dies, literally. They've been together for 15 years and they still look so much in love, the way they treat each other. I felt anger and despair because I love brother-in-law as a big brother, and he's been there for my sister when she was at her worst mentally. He was there taking care of her without ever once complaining. Now I found out I confronted her, and she tried to deny it. I told her that she was pathetic, and now she felt good about herself. After her husband nursed her back to health, she's paying him by cheating on him. I told her I was going to expose her, and she was begging me and crying, telling me I didn't understand. Please don't hurt us. You'll be hurting my husband more than you hurt me. After a few days, she asked to meet me. She looked like she was crying the whole time. She told me that she's been keeping her husband's secret, but she wanted to tell me and made me promise not to tell anyone. Her husband is impotent, and he hasn't slept with her for the majority of their relationship. I didn't believe her, so she showed me all the texts and emails she had with her husband, her therapist, and her diary. He hasn't touched her for almost 12 years. Her depression was because of it, and her back to health was because of this new guy. She said that since she started sleeping with him, she's been happier, and by extension, her marriage and husband have been happier. I asked her why she just didn't tell her husband. She said that she couldn't because she loves him, and she couldn't hurt him. She's afraid he would be so lonely without her because he always said he had no one else in this world and he would die without her. Don't you see that we are all happy? Please don't hurt us. About the guy. She met him through work, and actually he is kind of a famous entrepreneur in our city. She showed me texts, etc. He is also married but has 3 children. He has the same problem with his intercourseless marriage. Yesterday, she asked me to meet her. She was with him. The audacity. She looked totally broken, and he looked smug and angry, and he didn't even want to look at me. She asked me to think of all the people that would be hurt if this case came out, and she said they will end their affair and promised to never do it again. He got upset and said, or we could just tell everyone and stop hiding. She got angry and told him to shut up. I don't know what to do. She said that she kept her husband's secret because he's embarrassed and he is very possessive and jealous. I have noticed he is the jealous type, so he didn't agree to open marriage. She swore it was over with this other guy too and showed me texts where they had a huge fight because he actually thinks I should tell her husband so they could be together, but I don't know. He has given her a Cartier love ring that she still has, and when I confronted her, she said she couldn't throw an expensive ring, but she will donate it. She wears it in a chain underneath her clothes. I'm sorry this is getting long, but I wanted to include all the details. Hope you can give me an honest judgment. Would I be the a-hole if I told my sister's husband? I think this whole thing is wrong, and the cheated parties need to know the truth, but it will hurt brother-in-law. There are too many twists and turns in this. I feel like I'm reading a play from the 90s or something. Just too much going on. Like, there's multiple people in intercourse relationships. I hate that I have to say that. YouTube, get your crap together. I would say something. You care about the brother-in-law, like he's like a brother to you, and he's doing nothing wrong in this situation. Granted, he's having issues with intimacy and stuff, but he still has a right to know. Just because they're having issues with intimacy doesn't mean that she gets to cheat on him. That's not okay. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. So I don't know. Like, obviously they've tried to work through the issues because there was the therapy stuff mentioned, and it hasn't worked. That sucks. But then, like, he might say he's got no one else, but I'm sure he could find someone else, and he doesn't deserve to get cheated on. So I don't know. I know a bunch of people will get hurt, but I still think it would be right to tell him. Maybe that makes me an a-hole too. I don't know, but if that's the case, so be it. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.